Hey, hello everyone. Praful here. So ideally, our complete session is going to be hands-on session. I will introduce you to the lab setup, right? As to what are the downloadables which are required by you um, for you to be able to continue with this Spring Boot session. Number one. Number two, then we will go ahead and validate the same. Like kind of, we will use the lab setup and try to create some kind of hello world program. Yes, you need the active internet connection in the machine, whatever you are using for the practice, right? Whatever you are using for Spring Boot. Spring Boot will not work if the internet connection is not there because Spring Boot uses Maven as a dependency manager and Maven uses downloads all the dependencies from Maven repository, right? So let's continue. Or you search for STS, right? So this one spring.io/tools. Ideally, that this is what we are interested in. Spring tools, not for this. Spring tools now for this. Where is Spring tools suite? Hold on. The all new Spring tools suite. Okay, here they are. So this is what you need. Depending on what you are on Linux, Mac, or Windows, 32-bit or 64-bit, download that specific version only. If you are on 32-bit, do not download the 64-bit. If you are on 64-bit, do not download the 32-bit. It will not work, right? Download the most recent one. I can say lab setup, and for that you need what? Spring tool suite, right? So you can get it from here. Okay. Now Spring tool suite will work only if JDK is installed. Ideally Java is installed, right? So you will need to check before installing Spring tool suite. You will need to check whether the Java is installed or not. So you can open the command prompt, normal command prompt. So I am using this CMDER command prompt. I use it because it gives me better control on the command prompt. So um, you can use the normal command prompt. You would want to check if Java is installed. Oops. Right, so you can see I have Java 1.8 installed, right? So, and Java C should also be installed. Ideally, what I mean is Java and Java C both should point to the same JDK version, right? So that should be in place. So this should be installed. Java should be installed. If Java is not installed, you can download it from Oracle website, right? So JDK. Ideally, JDK 8 is obsolete now, so you would want to download JDK 11 or JDK 13, whatever it is. Hold on, it's opening. So you can see either 13 or either 14. That is what you will need to download. So it will require registration, I suppose. When I will attempt to download this now, let's say this 159 MB, and I will attempt to download this, it will require me to log into the Oracle website. We are sorry, the page you requested was not found. Sorry, hold on. Looks like Oracle website is having some trouble today. Um, Compressed archive, even that. Okay, looks like Oracle website is having trouble today. But hold on, this is what will work. So you can download the JDK from here. I am sharing that link as well with you. So once this is download, we should be okay, right? So ideally, you will also need to kind of go and set up a Java home path 3. Set up Java home it's underscore home environment variable. It points to your JDK home. So by default, Java will be installed when you would download and install this now. So by default, it will install itself at C program files. I will just show you. Hold on, uh, where it is installed. It will install itself at C. Since I am on the 64-bit machine, so it will go inside program files, Java. Right? Can you see this? JDK is installed, right? So what do I mean when I say Java home is this folder. Whatever folder I need to go inside a JDK folder, whatever folder is there, no, which contains main, include, JRE, lib, that is JDK. So do not think of it as a just JRE as a JDK or Java home. No, this JRE is not a Java home folder. This JRE is a JRE home folder. It stands for Java Runtime Engine. What we are interested in is the JDK home, right? Java home. This is the Java home. Either this or this. If my application want to use the Java 7, then this. If my application wants to use Java 12, then this, right? So these are all Java home folder. So at any point of time, I can use one single Java version, right, as a global JDK, right, which is set up in my machine. Now, depending on the project, I can always configure individual projects to use individual versions of JDK. But yes, we can have one global setup. So how do you set up this Java home environment variable? So for that, you will need to right click your, ideally open the environment settings, right? So environment variables. So you need to right click your PC. Where is it? PC, and go to the properties. And that's where you will get this advanced system settings, right? So you can click on that, which in turn will open the environment variables. And here you have it, right? Can you see this Java home? You will need to click on this new and then say something like Java underscore home. And then variable value will be what? Variable value will be that path where JDK is installed. So what did I see? If I saw that, hold on, what Java is installed? 1.8.0211, right? That's a Java version I have installed. So that is what should be my Java home. So ideally, what I mean is there should not be a clash between the Java commands which are running over here, the version of the Java commands which are running over here, and the folder and the Java home variable, right? So Java home should point to the same JDK version. That's what my intention is. So here it is. So I can copy this folder path and paste it inside the environment variables, right? So wherever it is set. I should click on OK over here, but I am not clicking on OK. But because for me, why? Because for me, Java home is already set, right? So I will click on cancel. You will need to do one more thing before you are able to start what you call Eclipse. Sorry, not Eclipse, Spring Toolsuite. So ideally, Spring Toolsuite is based on Eclipse flavor only. So that's the reason Eclipse came out from my mouth. So there should be one more thing. There is one more setup which you need to check or do if it is not there before you are able to run the Spring Toolsuite. What is that? You need to go and update the path variable. Just click on the path variable and click on edit. Now here the path of the Java executables, that is Java C, whatever you have over here in the bin folder, right? In the Java home, in the bin folder, you have these executables. One is Java C, right? All those, this path should be updated in the path variable. So if you kind of go and take a look, we already have that what you call Java home variable setup, right? So I can say percentage Java home, and then what folder? Bin folder. right? Because bin folder contains all the executables. I can also set it up like this. This is what you will need to do. And oh, sorry, I missed out on that percentage sign over here. So ideally, the path variable, whatever I have, environment variable, whatever I have, should be wrapped inside the percentage symbol, right? So this completes my basic prerequisites required for Spring Tool Suite to run, right? So these are the basic prerequisites, ideally setting up a Java, installing Java, then setting up a Java home, and then setting up a path to the bin folder inside Java home, right? In whatever be the JDK home, setting up a path to the bin folder inside it to in the path variable. That is what we need to do. So once this is done, we are all good. If you are on open or not on, if you are using, then need not to set up Apache Maven, right? But if you are in network, then you will need to set up Apache Maven binary. Make sense? And configure it to use proxy credentials. So ideally, if you are on the open internet, that is you are connected to the open, you using open internet, then you need not to set up Apache Maven. But if you are in the network, that is you are logging in using your if you are logging in using your credentials in your machines, then you will need to set up Apache Maven binary, right? So that's what I will be showing you next. So where do you get the Apache Maven binaries from? You can get it from Apache Maven website, right? So once you go to the maven.apache.org, there you have this download, right? And in there is this binary. That's what you need. You do not need source, no. You do not need source, no. You need a binary, right? So you need to download it from here. Download it and unzip it in some folder, right? So I will show you. So it will take 11 minutes, huh? I'm not on slow internet. Hold on. How can it take so much long time? Speed is good enough. Maybe this server is slow, right? The Apache Maven server is slow. So I will try once again. So ideally, okay, let me cancel it. It's taking a long time. So what you will need to do is you will need to download it and unzip it in some folder, right? So here I have Apache Maven version 3.6.2. The what it was downloading was Apache Maven 3.6.3, right? Okay, it was downloading Apache Maven 3.6.3. What I have is 3.6.2. So this is the way you will need to download and extract it, right? So ideally this folder, the way Java folder, JDK folder was called Java home, right? In the same way, this folder is called Maven home, right? Maven home. So you can copy this path, right? And set up your Maven home. So again, you will need to go to your this is for the people who are required to use Apache Maven binaries. For the people who are not required to use Apache Maven binaries, they can ignore this step. But if at all, it's a good idea. Just to have Apache Maven set up in your laptop is a good idea. You can always do it. Now, whether you want to configure Spring Tool Suite to use it or not, that's a different story. But just downloading it and setting it up is a different thing. It doesn't force your Spring Tool Suite to use it, right? It is a different activity altogether. But later on, we will see how can we configure our Spring Tool Suite to use this FHMMN, the binary, FHMMN binaries, right? So we will do that part also. But as of now, you can go ahead with this. Once it is downloaded, you can extract it and go to the environment variables once again. And there should be you can set up a path called Maven home. Right? You can I think I do not have it, right? Maven home. So new Maven home. And what does it point to? Whatever be the C software application, right? So I click OK. And I will need to set up one more thing inside a path variable. I need to set up a binaries FHMM and home binary. So ideally in bin folder, as you can see, inside FHMM and home, inside a bin folder, we have this MVN commands, right? MVN. So I can use this MVN commands. I can use this MVN commands to build my Spring Boot project, right? I can use this MVN command to build my Spring Boot project from the command prompt. Though I would be building all my Spring Boot projects from within the Spring Tool suite, building and deploying it locally will happen only from within the Spring Tool suite. But let's say you want to use a command prompt, then yes, you would be using this MVN command, right? This one. So for this to work, I will need to set up this path inside my path variable, right? So that's what I'm going to do here. Ideally, it should already be done. Let me kind of go and check. FHMM. Here it is. Can you see? So I can always kind of go and replace this guy with the Maven home. I just set up Maven home. No, I can do that. So percentage. How do I use the environment variable value? Percentage, and between the percentage, I will set up that variable. I will use that variable Maven underscore home, right? And inside Maven home, I have a bin folder which contains all my Maven commands. So click OK, OK, OK. Let us see if it works. So I will open a command prompt again. And let us see the version of Maven we have. Maven version. Yeah. So we have Maven version 3.6.2, and what is the Maven home pointing to? This one, right? Oh. And it is using JDK 1.8. Makes sense, right? Everything is just looking fine. We have got the relevant output. Okay, so our Apache Maven is also set up. Now, will uh, will our Spring Tool Suite use this Apache Maven which I had just set up, right? This one. कहाँ गया अपना Apache Maven भैया? Where is our Apache Maven? See, software Apache Maven. So will our Spring Tool Suite, the Spring Tool Suite which we are going to use this Apache Maven, or will it use embedded Apache Maven? See, as in the present case, as in my case, it will be using embedded Apache Maven. I configured this Apache Maven just in case I want to use Maven commands from the command prompt to build my Spring Boot projects, right? By default, Spring Tool Suite is going to use embedded Apache Maven. And if you are on the open internet, I would recommend you also use the embedded Apache Maven. If you are in the proxy based internet, that is wherein you need to kind of input the credentials so as to browse the internet, then only I will recommend you will configure and replace embedded Apache Maven inside Spring Tool Suite with what? With this external Maven manually. But as of now, I am assuming that we are using open internet. This you will get a folder like this, STS, whatever the version, and in there you will get this Spring Tool Suite executable, right? That's what you need to start.